Alright, let me paint you a picture. Imagine you had a long day at work. You come home, you sit down on your really comfortable couch. You want to kind of relax. You think to yourself, okay, that documentary is really cool, but I had such a hard day. I just cannot watch a documentary right now. Let me watch, I don't know, Fast and the Furious or something a little bit more mindless in air quotes. And then someone barges into your door and says, why the hell are you sitting on that comfortable couch and not on the hard floor and watch a really good documentary? You don't watch it because it's stressful, because you want to relax? How weak are you? Imagine that. That would be weird, right? So usually I don't want to go into the comments, negative comments that I get, but I don't know, this kind of comment somewhat underlines what I've been saying in my previous videos about negative comments and some comments not really trying to understand the perspective you are coming from, but rather feel offended and then want to attack you. And I'm not going to say the name, but because I don't want to kind of send hate towards that person. And please, you probably will find that comment because I will read it now. But I would kind of ask you not to comment yourself on that comment and go to my defense. But also, if you are the same opinion of him, by all means comment, but please be constructive, because that person, in my humble opinion, doesn't have any good arguments. I'm all for your freedom of speech and sharing your opinion. Go for it. Tell me that you don't like me, but at least have the decency to give good arguments. I'm all for constructive feedback, and if you want to say something negative, then at least show that you watched the whole video, that you somewhat, when I reply to you, understand where I'm coming from, instead of doubling down with an argument that is stupid. So let me read it to you, and then I will go into what I replied and also kind of go into this a little bit more. So this was on my video about, with the title, The Power of Dedicated, and that is really important, the power of dedicated gaming for mental health. And it was all about me finishing Chrono Trigger and how much I liked it. And in that video, I also said something along the lines of, oh, I'm a casual gamer and I do like when the game is somewhat holding my hands and guides me through the storyline, because I sometimes find a big, like, open world a little bit stressful in the context of the device being a helpful tool for mental health, in terms of me kind of being able to reset my mindset when I'm in a stressful job or when I have like issues. I just want to kind of grab my handheld device, play a game for a couple of minutes, 10 to 20 minutes, to kind of dive into a story and kind of get lost in that story, so that I can get back to the task at hand with a refreshed mind and therefore a new perspective. And if the game has a very complicated story that makes it difficult to kind of switch on, switch off, switch on, switch off, it can be, in air quotes, stressful, and that person kind of doubles down on my use of the word stressful. It is, to me, stressful in that moment, in the context that I kind of try to explain, that I just want to spend 10 minutes in that game. And if I have to kind of think about, oh, where was I in that context of the storyline, that doesn't help me to kind of relax for those 10 minutes. So that, with the goal of getting a refreshed and reset mindset. So that person commented, why is everyone so fragile these days? This game is stressful. I need this device for mental health. So I assume he is talking in those two sentences, this game is stressful, I need this device for mental health, in a sarcastic way. And then he commented, "Are you fucking kidding me?" My reply to that is, aren't you a ray of sunshine? Leaving such a judgmental and useless comment might be an indication that you are on edge yourself and not as strong as you might believe. When you're going to the gym, it doesn't indicate that you are weak. It means you're trying to keep in shape. Utilizing a tool like a gaming device for me is to concentrate on one activity without disturbing notifications, to clear my mind and then go back to a task, a job, or issues with a fresh mind and perspective. What's wrong with that? And he comments back, instead of going into any of my points that I'm saying, he goes back to the video, and as I just mentioned the word stressful, I've never heard anyone call a video game stressful. Get it together. Then I commented back, wow, what a good argument, with a frowning smiley. So you're saying you're the bar of all gamers. The point is not that the game is stressful, the point is how I utilize the time in between work, and then I assume you work as well, to occupy my brain with a different task. When it's a, in air quotes, bigger game with a longer story time, it's just not possible to fit that comfortably into a 10-minute time frame, especially if your goal is just to get away from your work mindset. Then some aspects of the game don't fit that goal, hence the description, in air quotes, stressful. But the issue is probably more with you. Why is this such an issue for you that you get so offended by it and leaving such a useless comment? Just because something doesn't work for you doesn't mean you have an argument to attack someone else. I'm pretty sure you do something in your life that seems weird to me, but that's okay. So, again, for me, I think for all of you who watch these videos, you already know why I utilize these things and why I think these are helpful for mental health. And everything that I'm saying is, and the attack vector that he utilized is, oh, why is everyone so weak? Why is everyone having mental health issues? That by itself is a really questionable attack vector. By attacking someone's mental health and saying someone is weak, that is very judgmental, and you have no idea what kind of package that person is kind of carrying. But just like you go to the dentist without having any teeth issues, you go there to check up. Just like going to the gym doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're keeping healthy. You're going to the dentist to check up on yourself. Just because you take care of your mental health doesn't necessarily equate to the factor that you are weak, that you have mental issues. Don't get that twisted. And I'm talking to all of you. I'm not talking to the commentator, because I feel like many people think that way. They think, oh, I'm talking about mental health. I'm taking care of my mental health. I'm going to coaching. I'm going to a psychiatrist. That never, and that's really important, that never means you're weak. That doesn't also mean that you have mental issues. You go there. I like to go there to coaching or to a psychiatrist, even if I don't have problems. It's just like taking care of your body when you are working out. It's just like going to the dentist, checking up on your teeth. It's just like going once per year, hopefully, going to cancer prevention treatment. Even though you don't have cancer, you go there to check up on your health, to make sure you don't have cancer. And that's the same thing with mental health. We do not take care enough of mental health in our society. And I'm sick of and tired of people saying, oh, you're talking about mental health. What's wrong with you? Are you weak? No, you're not weak. You can talk about this stuff, and you can also talk about what is bothering you. It doesn't mean you're weak. It just means you're taking care of yourself. And utilizing these tools to help your mental health is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of you worrying, or you're appreciating your mental health and searching for tools to make yourself healthy, or not make, keeping yourself healthy. And me utilizing a tool like a gaming device and acknowledging, okay, this kind of game is maybe not for me at the moment because it adds to the stress that I'm having, doesn't mean that the game is stressful. It just means that I'm just don't want to deal with that at the moment. And the person coming in and judging you, who are you? I mean, I'm not coming into your house and judging you. Can't we just stop judging people? And again, that person probably is commenting back, oh, that's just my opinion. And that's just my freedom of speech. Fair enough. It's your freedom of speech. But not every opinion needs to be voiced. And especially not one that is so judgmental and so out of place. Just keep it to yourself. I mean, you can have your opinion. What bothers me is that judgmental tone and this really backwards thinking that mental health and talking about mental health is a sign of weakness. And that's what makes especially men so taken aback to talk about their feelings and to talk about what's their issue. And I'm so annoyed by that there is so many. It's still this thinking of we men, we don't talk about our emotions. We men are supposed to be strong. And no, it's not. And it's good to be strong. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not kind of arguing for one or the other, or replacing one for the other. I'm saying it is important to acknowledge the problems that you have or the weaknesses that you have and taking care for those. Again, I really like to kind of compare this to the gym. Basically, what that person is saying, you can really translate it to, oh, you're going to the gym, so you're weak. No, I'm going to the gym to take care of my body, to keep in shape. So I'm playing a game that fits into my current state of mind or my current day-to-day. Again, a game like Witcher. I've mentioned this previously many times. I love Witcher, but that wouldn't fit into a 10-minute break. Or I'm started just playing Final Fantasy VI, where there are so many random battles that it's hard to remember where you are in that game. And imagine fitting that into a 10-minute break. It is much more stressful and it doesn't serve the purpose that I am tending for those 10 minutes, because I'm then, okay, where was I going? What do I need to do? And that is, in air quotes, stressful and doesn't serve the purpose of me relaxing for those 10 minutes. And yes, obviously, if I would just, in air quotes, just say that Chrono Trigger is a stressful game, fair enough, you have a point there. It is stupid to say that the game is stressful overall. I get your point. It's still a stupid comment to leave with someone, especially with the introduction of, oh, you're a weak person because you think about your mental health. That is such a stupid argument. But since I replied back and in my eyes, constructive feedback. Yes, I was jabbing that person a little bit, saying, okay, maybe you have some issues because you're commenting in a very judgmental and offended way. Yes, I kind of hit back. But the rest was constructive. And I explained why I said that I utilize the gaming device as a mental health tool. And then he comes back with, oh, you said that Chrono Trigger or the game is stressful, get a grip. And then I'm like, okay, that was not your introductory statement, but let me explain again. And now, where's your fucking argument? What is your argument to attack someone for their mental health or for what they're doing? And yes, I'm getting a little bit agitated right now, but I really believe we as a society, okay, 2 points. First point, we as a society should stop considering taking care of your mental health or anything that has to do with your mindset, to consider that as weak. Plus, we should stop judging other people for their problems. Just because you or I might think that the problem another person has is not a problem. And sometimes we think, why the hell is that person so frustrated or stressed out by that problem? That's nothing. I had to deal with this and that many years ago. That's not the point. That person believes that is stressful, and for that person that is a problem. It's not for you to say and go to that person and say, oh, what are you complaining about? That's not a problem. That's not for you to say. Everyone has their own limits of what they can bear or not bear, and what they consider a problem or what not. It's not your place to judge a person for their problems, and especially not your place to go there and say, oh, you're weak because you consider that a problem. You cannot do that. That would, imagine you having a problem with your mortgage, and you worry that you cannot pay your mortgage, and then someone from World War II comes to you, oh, that's not a problem, why are you complaining, I had to go to war. You would be really taken aback. And yes, you could say like, oh, okay, yeah, that's right, but that wouldn't kind of alleviate your problems. You would still be stressed. So yeah, so that's the first thing. I feel like we should stop like considering mental problems and health issues and stuff like that as being weak. Everyone should be able to talk about their problems. Everyone should be allowed to just take care of their mental health, or not only in a I have issues, but also in terms of, oh, I want to stay mentally healthy. Therefore, I go to the therapist. Going to the therapist doesn't mean you have an issue. It means you care for yourself. It means either you want to kind of tackle a problem, but it also can be, I want to stay healthy because I don't have anyone to talk to about my problems, because everyone who I talk to is judging me for the problems that I'm talking about. So therefore, I rather go to a therapist, talk to a therapist about my issues, and I'm really 100% sure that therapist isn't going to judge me. And that is keeping you sane, and that is taking care of your mental health. Next up, I am a huge believer of free speech, and I am a huge believer of respecting everyone's opinion. But freedom of speech and freedom of sharing your opinion doesn't mean that you are safe from repercussions or someone talking back to you. Of course, you could go to someone on the street or the bouncer of the club and say, hey, you're an asshole, let me in. Freedom of speech, you are allowed to say that. But he's probably going to punch you in the face. And that is probably deserved if you are kind of telling him he's an asshole without any reason. Then he's going to punch you. And I probably think he's right if you tell him he's an asshole without any reasons. So yeah, you are allowed to voice your opinions. But some opinions aren't unnecessary. And especially in some of the cases that I've noticed in my videos lately, here on the second channel, aren't even warranted. Because once I kind of comment back and forth with that person then suddenly acknowledges, oh, I should have watched the video. Or in this case, that person doesn't want to kind of understand my perspective or what I'm saying. So that's also a thing. If you voice your opinion, be fair enough. If you want to be heard, also be fair enough to let the other person speak. And more importantly, most of the people let other people speak, but they let them speak waiting for their turn to reply back, and then they don't listen. So be respectful. if the other person listens to you after you ranted, be respectful, listen, let the other person finish, but also listen. Try to understand what that person is saying and then reply. And then consider, we all should consider that we might be wrong. So if I reply back, you have all of the freedom to convince me otherwise. I can be wrong. I'm totally aware that I say stupid things. I can be wrong. But then be respectful, be fair. If I present you my arguments, present yours as well, but also listen to what I have to say. I listen to you, what you have to say, and then we have a constructive discussion. However, in the YouTube comment section, it's rarely that you get a good discussion with these kinds of people, which again kind of shines a light on that YouTube can be very hard. But do not get discouraged. Continue doing what you're doing, be respectful, listen to what other people have to say. If there is constructive feedback, kind of take it, acknowledge it. If there's not, present your arguments, reply back, or ignore it however you want, but do not get discouraged. And to anyone who needs to hear this, you're not weak. If you think you have issues, if you think you have problems, if you think you need to take care of your mental health, that is not a sign of weakness. You are stronger than other people because you acknowledge that there is an issue. Many people just, especially men, just kind of bury that within themselves. And if you start a YouTube channel the way I am proposing most of the time here, and utilize this to kind of verbalize what's in your mind, you're already a step ahead of most people because you're kind of trying to analyze what's going on. And again, it doesn't mean you're weak. All right, so that was the comment again. Please don't go there and comment on that person's comment. If you find it, just read it. No need to defend me or attack that person. Please don't. If you are of his opinion, by all means, comment as well. Let me know what you think. But please be respectful. Please try to understand where I am coming from. And then I'm all open ears. All right, so this was my video and rant about this topic. And yeah, on a positive note, maybe check out my Final Fantasy VI video from yesterday up here. YouTube thinks that you like the video down here. Maybe hype and like this video because I think this is an important topic. But also consider subscribing by clicking the button up here, and then we see each other tomorrow. Thank you very much.